Hey, I'm John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. Today we're doing a review demo of the Flight Time digital delay by a very cool company based in Japan called Free the Tone. This is the next level of digital delays. It's kind of amazing that in this small stomp box there is more technology than we use to fly to the moon. It's pretty incredible. And when I first took it out of the box, I was frankly intimidated because I'm kind of accustomed to just a couple knobs and maybe a switch or two. But after I got into it, dug through the manual a bit, and more than anything just played with it, I found that it's intuitive, has incredible options, and is relatively easy to use. So let me kind of tell you all about it. The Flight Time has everything you might expect in a good digital delay, but it has a whole lot more, and this really comes down to the fact that it's driven by a 32-bit digital signal processor. To give you some perspective, the first Nintendo was an 8-bit. So it's kind of amazing where we are right now and what we're capable of doing. One of the most impressive features, for me anyway, is the BPM analyzer. What this does, there's a microphone on the pedal, and it will analyze where the groove is and move the tap tempo to match it within 20%. So say you're playing with a drummer that is a Russian dragon, speeds up 1 minute, slows down the next. It will analyze that and move the beat towards it. So who cares about meter? This will fix it. Pretty cool. There's a lot of other cool features that we'll get into, but first let me tell you about everything else in the signal chain. I'm playing my Gibson ES336. That is, I've got DiMarzio pickups in it and a Stetz bar, and the rest is stock, I guess. I'm plugging directly into the Flight Time. The Flight Time's running into a Mesa Boogie Lone Star. We're going to be in both channels eventually, but right now we're in the clean channel. You can see it's basically flat. On the dirty channel, I've got the bottom end rolled off a tiny bit and the mids and high up a little bit. We're micing it with the Royer R121 mic. That's running into an Apogee Quartet and then into Pro Tools. So that's the basics. Now let me tell you some of the more of the features, and then we'll spin a few knobs and see what it does. Here are some of the other cool features in addition to the BPM analyzer. There's a high pass filter and a low pass filter and modulation, and all this is very tweakable. You can get into the minutia on every bit of this, and you can see there's a big digital readout, so you can really see what you're doing, and it will bring it up right to the, even on the BPMs right there, you can dial in precisely to the point where you're going. And when you're messing with your modulation or low pass filter or high pass filter, you can dial in exactly what you want. And what's also great about that, you have 90 presets. So when you dial in the perfect tone, it's not just there for a while. You can save it and then compare and do a little comparison, and the best one wins. 90 presets that you can control, and then there's another 9 which they load it with, and those presets are great as well. Those are permanent, but you can mess with the other ones, or actually you can tweak those, save them to another preset, 1 through 90, or build your own. And it's not as complicated as you might think. I'm not particularly good at this kind of thing, but I was able to program some almost immediately. Okay, next there is MIDI support, should you be that kind of person. I'm not a MIDI guy, but it's there if you like that. There's also sound hold, which is kind of like that freeze pedal where you hit a note and hold it, which I did a little bit on the intro. Oh, another thing I should have told you, I have a Boss switch, an L5 switch that I'm using for the hold. So you hit it. So it's got the hold feature, which is great. I mean, particularly, I don't know, it's a very useful, it seems like a weird little trick, but it's very useful, I've found, just to kind of hit that note and play over it, particularly if you're doing solo things or something like that. Great thing to build a cacophonous whatever. Here's a few other great features. There's something called the delay time offset feature. And what this is, when you're playing with the delay, particularly if you have a lot of repeats and you're going for a big cavernous thing, if you're always right on, each repeat will be right there. And eventually, it gets a little muddy because it's just one note on top of the other. But with this offset, you can slightly offset them. So as they decay further, they just move a little bit away from it, which is great, which gives you, it almost gets reverb-y at that point because they're kind of building off each other slightly off. So it just kind of cascades and grows. That's a neat feature. Another great thing they have is the holistic tonal solution circuit, which is a way of getting away that tone suck that pedals have, kind of dealing with buffering and things like that. Anyway, it's a very clean signal. They also use their own proprietary power, which is very clean power. The pedal itself really doesn't make any noise that I can hear at all, and I've played at loud volumes and quiet volumes. So they've done that really well. So the flight time has lots of options, and it would take hours to go through all of them, but let me show you some of the highlights. First, we'll start with scrolling through some of your presets and then showing how to adjust them. When we came in, I was on one of the presets, but say we want to scroll to another one. Hold down the tap for 2, 1 1000, 2 1000. There we are. Then we're flashing, then we can go up or down. This way brings you down. This way brings you up. Let's go to this one, 95. I think that's kind of cool. Hold it for 2, 1 1000, 2 1000. There we are. And it's a cool little kind of rockabilly thing. Pretty cool. They built the flight time to make life easier on live players. So say you keep we're all going to keep our favorite presets in the beginning. So 1 and 2, setting 1 and 2 are sort of a default. Hold this, so you're all the way up on 95 right now. Hold the tap for a count of 3, and it automatically goes to number 1. So this is a good kind of like a good long delay setting I have, Now say you want to switch immediately to a dotted thing. Well, I've pre-programmed one on number 2. So you hold it down for 3 seconds again, and it immediately jumps to number 2, which is great. Now, I'll kind of show you what this does. Let me set that tempo. Now, I don't know if you were watching this right here, but you could see as my tempo kind of jacked a little bit, it would adjust it so you could get it right on that right, so it would follow where I'm going, which is great. Great to see that in action. Now, over here on this section, this is where we have our subdivisions. The default would be quarter notes. So we'll hit this right here. Right now I'm on a dotted thing, which I pre-programmed. But say we want to go to quarter notes. We'll just scroll that baby up. So there's our quarters. Now we're going to take it down. 8s, dotted, and from there. Now, as long as we're kind of showing you how to program, let's get into some other things. Right now, I have a longish, have 53% delay. So let's adjust this a little bit. Say that's just too much. Well, we'll just scroll it down. And you can see it moves quickly and it's easy to watch. So, easy to see where you are, which is great. My only, I guess my only peeve is the writing is kind of small, although the readout is huge. But once you work with the pedal for a while, you can easily read them. But getting to know it and seeing it from here is a little bit complex. Okay, next you have feedback, same thing. Hit this button, it'll bring you down to the feedback. Make it as big as you want. Now we're at a short one. So you want to really scroll it up. Pretty cool. So after making all these changes, say we want to go back to 1, we'll just hold this for a 3 count. And there we are back. And when we jump back to number 2, it's back to our preset. So all those little adjustments we made were not saved. We have the one we wanted. But if we want to save them, that's easy enough to do. All you do is press store and then enter, and select where you want like to keep it, like on number 3 or number 4, whatever. So even for a guy like me who's not particularly into this whole programming stuff, it is really easy and a great way to save the sounds you've been tweaking. So here's another great little feature, trails. What it does, it continues the trails of the delay, so when you're switching from one preset to the other, it's not killing your effect. It keeps it rolling. So we'll go, we hit a note. As you can see, as we're switching, it keeps rolling. So that's a good way to make a clean switch without like a glaring, oh my God, where'd that delay go? Pretty cool. Now let me show you some of the modulation effects. And the great thing about this is like having a chorus or whatever, flange or whatever, thrown in as a little added bonus. So we're over in this section right here. And again, you have so many tweaking options, and it gives you very subtle increments of change, so you can dial in and get very precise about it. So right now, we have a very limited depth of this modulation, but let's go ahead and take that bad boy up a little bit. Okay. That's a great thick chorus, particularly put a little dirt on it. But say we want to go crazy seasick. Well, we can. Okay, that to me is, again, kind of vertigo inspiring, but there might be a place for that. Okay, so that's the modulation. Now let me get into the low pass filter. This is a very hip effect. Okay, we're off right now. I've turned off the chorusing as well, so let's turn this on. You can see what it does. Yeah, to have that filter on the delay is so cool. To have your signal, your original signal, clean, and then have the filter hit the delay. Very cool way to go. Okay, so that's that. Now I will take off the low pass filter, and then you can hear what the high pass filter does. Turn it off. And again, it seems a little intimidating, but it moves quickly. So here's your high pass, same kind of thing. Pretty hip. Again, this gives you the kind of tweakery when you could really dial in some signature tones that work perfect for you and then save them. Now let me show you this high pass filter with a little dirt on it where it becomes kind of more pronounced. So as you see, when you quit playing over it and let that play back to you, you can really hear the filter. Hip, man. Pretty cool. So, whoops, still going. So very cool features. In fact, there are so many great features on this that if you are that kind of player that loves options, loves to tweak, this is a great fit for you. If that's not your thing, it might be a little over the top. Although I've found it very easy to use, even for a relative old school caveman like myself. It was easy to go through. So not only does it have all this, there's also a looper involved. And if we got into everything, we could be here for a week. So that's the basics. To read the full written review, go to premierguitar.com. And while you're online, make sure you like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, poke around the old PG site, and we will keep you up to date on all the cool new gear that's out there. This is John Bolger. Peace out.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on premierguitar.com.